What will I tell him, you ask me, when my son's trying to make up his mind to ride for a living like I have, or explore what the world has to find? Could I tell him it's sure worth the doing? Could I tell him I spent well my time? I'll just say from the start, son, it's got to come from the heart. It ain't something that comes from the mind. I'll tell him the truth as I know it, of good years, hard winters, and drought. Give him courage to stay in the bout. That adrenaline rush when you're busting up brush on a cow pony, agile and stout. Of having the rug jerk from under your feet when you hear that the outfit sold out. I'll tell them that cowboy's a verb, not a noun. It's what you do more than a name. And he'd be fooling himself if he's figuring on any sort of material gain. What will I tell him, you ask me, when my son's there and trying to make up his mind? I'll just say from the start, son, got to come from the heart. It ain't something that comes from the mind.
Begins out there on the ranch somewhere. You know, the concept of it was to put on this ranch rodeo, and the whole idea was to showcase the skills and preserve the culture of the American cowboy. We've been pretty true and faithful to that. It's always been important to us to have real, legitimate cowboys from everywhere. It actually started right here in Amarillo, Texas. Waddy Mitchell came to Palo Duro Canyon, and he and Randy Whipple started talking about this idea. They actually gave it feet and legs and decided to see if it'd work.
We were going a horseback up through a canyon, getting on back on top, and I got to talking to three guys from Amarillo and telling them, I'd sure like to see a crisis fund started for these ranch cowboys. The guys that if they're hurt, mom and the kids don't have to move away and go live with grandma and grandpa. If somebody's needing help, we'd have a crisis fund. But how are we gonna make money to make this crisis fund? We thought it would probably be a ranch rodeo. Ranch rodeo is cowboy skills. It's the way a rancher that owned the cattle would want them worked.
There was no association like ours. We did everything on a shoestring. We raised some money ourselves and pulled off a first rodeo, and it's worked. And so our profits go to the foundation, and the foundation does scholarships for ranch kids and crisis money for ranch families in trouble. I like to say it's a family reunion. You may not have met the family yet, but we're all family.
Every crisis is different. Every crisis tells its own story. Every given day, you never know if you're going to ride off and be home for dinner to see your family. From either losing a finger in a dally or calling from a mortuary saying, how do we pay for this? That individual's emergency is real. And so we're aware of that. That's our mission and purpose, is to help the working ranch cowboy and their family in time of need. If you listen closely, there's a lot of things to be heard through very little words. We're supposed to take care of the guy down the road. We're supposed to be there for people, and that is what this is about.
I've been ranching my whole life, ever since I can remember. Met my wife at a ranch rodeo in Fort Sumner. We got married. After we got married, we took a camp job at Singleton Ranches.
We have 3 children, and we're 40 miles from town, and most of it dirt road. And I work in town, and I would drive every day back and forth to school and work, but really we wouldn't have it any other way.
Whenever we had Shane, he was born with pulmonary hypertension. That kind of led to the effects of cerebral palsy. And we were in and out of the hospital and in and out of seeing doctors all the time. And my wife was on the phone with Casey Hooper all the time. And Casey said, you know what, let us help you.
Whenever I was born, I did have a couple problems, but me and my family worked through it. They taught me the way of ranch life. My favorite part about cowboying is probably being with my dad, and it's pretty fun out here. My mom and dad, they're just one of the best people I've ever known in my entire life.
We can't thank the WRCF enough, and don't know what we'd have done without them. And Shane, he sang at church the other day in front of everybody. Man, it was awesome. It's awesome to see your kids grow up and want to serve the Lord. I've always been told that you've got to allow other people to bless you so that they can be blessed. And you've got to look at it as a hand up, not a handout.
I gotta be real honest with you. The WRCA today so over exceeds my expectations what it would ever be. I didn't know there were so many people that cared so damn much about it, as I do, as everybody on that board does.
We've had a great home in Amarillo. You know, looking back, I mean, number one, we never dreamed that it would still be around 25 years later. Over the years, we've had a great board, great employees, and great sponsors. I'm grateful to all those people that do that. We've got great volunteers. I mean, people that have sacrificed a lot to make it happen. From a passion standpoint, they believe in it.
I think the future's gonna be maybe brighter than we've seen it be in the last 25 years. If I was gonna leave you with a thought, this tradition is worth hanging on to. It's not perfect, and there might be better traditions than this one. I haven't found it, and they ain't for me. This tradition tells us who we are, who we should be, and who we can be. And that's pretty good for a tradition, ain't it?